All right, guys, just want to talk about purpose today. One of the important things in life is actually having a direction to go in. We're not really programmed that way. And I do say program because school doesn't really encourage it. School sort of like become a policeman, become a fireman, become something else normally in a government organisation that fits very well into teaching people to be a good citizen. Now, they don't teach you about independent living. They don't teach you how to travel. They don't teach you how to find ways to make money. That comes from actually doing it. Now, don't get me wrong. There is patterns in this stuff that you can actually see and work out yourself. I mean, it's a bit like with the call center. I didn't just start a call center with no understanding of it. I basically utilized the people I know that were in the call center industry. So I picked up from their knowledge and their experience, and it wasn't long till I could see the patterns in there, and away it went. In life, there's so many things like that. You'll see people that are traveling on the back of ebooks. You'll see people that are constantly pushing their program to teach you how you could do what they did, which is often the fact of just selling their program funds their travel. Same as YouTube channels. It's another stream that people have been able to use for being able to travel. Now, the travel is the driver, not the YouTube channel, not the courses and stuff. That's a means to an end. But you need to have something that's driving a direction. This is why I find it a bit peculiar when people look forward to retirement yet don't know what they're going to do when they retire. The one thing you need is direction. There's a few people I know over the years that sort of drifted through life, and then they met the right person, be it they went out on a holiday in the Philippines, went out to Thailand, wherever it is. I mean, there were people everywhere. I mean, I've got friends that have gone to the US and all sorts. But the thing that gave them focus and a direction to head in was actually having somebody they wanted to be with. And that set them on that path. They changed from the way they worked, they changed the way they lived, they became different people, and they head off in that direction. That's why you see a lot of successful people are always about the goals. They're driving it, they're pushing it, they have something they want to reach. And that's why it's important to do that. It's very easy to drift through life. People are programmed that way because if everybody was pushing ahead, it'd be much harder for those at the top of the tree because the competition would be a lot more fierce. But reality is, a lot of people are quite happily just clocking in, clocking off, going for their 2-week holiday and just not really pushing themselves out there. I mean, myself at the moment, the driver at the moment is property for Spain. So I can be here full time and in a more relaxed way instead of like finding ways to generate income in Spain. Because a lot of this stuff I do does involve UK companies, and UK companies love you being there because they're very set in their ways in many ways. But ultimately, the driver is to get the property set up, and the driver is so I can be with my family full time. You can have your own drivers, whether it's to travel, whether it's to progress your career, whether it's to simply get fit or do something else. There is always something that you can actually motivate yourself with that many people just simply don't. They just drift. They just carry on through life. They don't even think about this stuff. Which is, I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but for me it's a bit blindsided because you're never trying to do something out of your comfort zone. You're never going to excel at anything. And that's I wouldn't say it's a sad thing, because if people are happy doing it the way they want, that's fine. But I do think they could do a lot more if they wanted to. I mean, I remember the documentary Bowling for Columbine, where they had the guys from the creators of South Park talking about the differences in people. You know, like you get the the sports people at school or the popular kids or whatever, they never leave that environment because their programming is often to just be good citizens and work for their dad or whatever. They stay in the same town. The ones that actually go off and do stuff are often the ones that are a little bit different. They're more curious and looking at doing something different. They get seen as dreamers, or just basically they just don't fit into the criteria of do as I say, which is the education system. It's all about, like the popular kids, it's following a program. This is how you should dress. This is how you should act. This is blah blah blah. Yet it's stupidity in its prime. So the point being is the opportunities are there, and I know myself, looking back at a lot of the people I've known over the years, a lot of them have never left the same town. I'd say the majority have never really travelled or experienced much. But if they're happy with it, that's fine. I mean, that's one of the most important things in life, is actually being happy. But I do recommend pushing yourself so you can get more out of life, experience more, see more. And you can find that you'll jump forward in life. I mean, there's been a few people ask me about work in Spain. Can I not find work? Yes, I can find work in Spain, but I can earn 4 to 5 times the amount in the UK. And I put that into years. So for every year in the UK, it's a minimum of 4 years in Spain, which means when you're buying property, there's a huge chunk of change that you're jumping forward. But we'll see where we go, because I'm hoping to line up the first property in the near future. Be after Christmas, but once we've got the first one, we'll see where things lead from there. But I'm content with Spain. But even then, I'm thinking, need to visit Granada more, need to go to Valencia, need to go and see other parts of Spain, up into the north of Spain, overlapping into France, heading down towards Portugal, experiencing the country. But a lot of the drivers you'll have out there start with actually having some focus on where you want to go. Because when you go, right, I want to travel. Okay, that's the driver. You want to travel. The next bit is where. And then it's the how. And as once you start structuring that, you'll find that you can start finding ways to make it happen. I know a few people that haven't got the greatest incomes but still managed to travel a fair bit because their focus has been to make it happen. It hasn't been a case of, well, I can't really afford that, so I'm not going to bother, which I've experienced with some of my friends. They go, well, I can't really afford it, so no, I'm not going to go. And you're like, okay, fine. At the same time, you know, they actually wanted to go, but they've actually stopped themselves going simply because they won't put the effort in to commit to it. But once you commit, you find a way. You know, maybe a case of you don't earn great, so you take on a part-time job in the evenings just to fund the trip. There's been a few people I know that have actually got rid of debt. And once they got rid of debt, they actually had spare money, and will have spare money as long as they manage the money the same way, their same income, to travel every year. Because it was the interest they were paying on debts. So the point is, there's a lot of positive stuff that comes out of having a direction, having focus, and thinking, right, I want to do this. Because once you start doing it, you start analysing everything else. And once you start analysing everything else, you start seeing options. You start seeing that you're paying your credit card an extra 60, 80, whatever currency it is a month. And once it's gone, that's in your pocket. That's a holiday a year. And it's cost you nothing extra at all. You've just managed your funds better. And when you do that more and more, you find you've got more and more spare capital. And then when you start getting to the savings side of things, you find that it's not a problem anymore. Life's progressing quite easily. And that's all I really want to say on that today. But it is important that you give yourself some direction. Give yourself some focus. Because once you've got it, you'll find ways to make it happen. Thanks for watching.